Okay, so let's add some materials. Review, we won't spend too much time on this, but if you're going to be in material mode, you have to have this little, looks like a beach ball, right? So material preview should be on. Each object, when you select it, you can give it a material. So I'll select the object. We're going to come down. Again, I'd say look at that little beach ball looking symbol. And you'll click on it, and we will add a new material. Once you have the material, you can name it. I'm going to name this E, just so I know what it is. And then I can pick my base color, or I could come through here and change any of these settings, metallic, specular tint. So feel free to explore, but you do want to come through and you want to give these all a new material. So material, let's make this one N. Let's pick a color, and you can go back and change these at any time. All right. So, but you want to go through and you want to find some fun colors and some fun materials for each letter. A couple handy things for materials. If you select on an object and you want to reuse a material, if you see that little symbol, it looks like the beach ball, the material symbol. If you click the drop down, it does save the materials that you've created. So you can always reapply one that way. You can also just click a material. If you click that little symbol here and drag and drop it onto a letter, it'll also apply that material onto that letter, in this case, that object. So handy little quick tip. Okay, so more material options. If you want to go through and you want to add individual materials to polygons or faces, what you can do is you can select the object you want to work on. You can jump into edit mode, make sure that X-ray is on, and what you want to do is you want to marquee select the area that you want, okay, with those vertices selected. If you make a new material, and you can call it whatever you want, we'll call it P_1, and you can pick your color. We'll go here, and then I'm going to add another material. Let's call it new. Let's call it P_2, and let's pick a different color so we can see the difference. And what you want to do then is you have two materials, and I have certain vertices selected, right? So if you just hit assign, and we'll jump back into object mode, you can see you can kind of have two materials on one object. All right, that might come in handy. You don't need to do it, but you can definitely come up with some pretty cool looking designs. Another little quick tip. If you did use another material, so for instance on the D, I used the material from the N. See, it says N. Remember that if I change this material, basically each object is using the same material. So if I want the D and the N to be different, I'm gonna have to do something. And that's pretty easy. I just want to remove the material from the N. So with my D selected, I'm gonna hit the minus key, and it's gonna remove that material. And then I'll make a new material, and I'll call it D, and then I can just pick and choose whatever I want. All right, so it's easy enough. If you have one assigned to an object that you want to remove, hit the minus key and make a new material. Okay, so now that I have my text, I need to have a background. So what I'm going to do here is in object mode, I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to add a mesh, and I'm just going to add a cube. All right, so there's my cube. It's going to be my floor and my background. So I am going to hit S and just scale it nice and big. And once I have this will be my floor plane. What I want to do is I want to remove the front, the sides, and the top. So to do that, I'm going to jump into edit mode or hit tab and make sure I'm in face mode, right? So polygon mode. I'm going to select these individual faces. I'm going to turn off of X-ray. Okay, make sure that's off. And I'm going to click the top, side, front, and you're holding down Shift while you do this. All right, so I have a back and a bottom. Great. So to get rid of these, I'm just going to hit X and choose faces. All right, so X faces, those are gone. And this is going to be my floor and my background. So a few things. It's a little bit of a sharp transition. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to select the edge mode. I'm going to select this edge at the bottom, and we're going to look at our modeling tools. All right, and what we want to do is we want to provide a bevel. So I'm going to hit bevel, And you're going to see this little yellow symbol comes up. If I click and drag, it adds a bevel. When you do that, look down at your lower left. There are options. So if I want more segments, I can just drag this out, or you can middle mouse roll, and that'll give you a bit of a smoother transition. All right, so when we do that, I can go right back to object mode, and there is my background. All right, so the last thing we have to do is, I guess we should probably assign a material to this. So I'll make a new material. I'll call it BG for background, and I will pick a color. Remember, we can always change these later, so just pick something. You can always tweak. Once I have this, I might want it to be a little bit bigger, so feel free to stretch it. But this is going to be my floor. And the last thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to add any more objects that I might want to add, and I'm going to rearrange my text to create an interesting composition.